this is Tawny from EndeavorCreative.com, and I'm here with Sandra from Conversion Minded. Hi, Sandra.
Hey, how are you?
So today we're going to talk about Pinterest, and why don't you just introduce yourself and your and what your business is all about?
Yeah, so my name is Sandra, and Conversion Minded is a business where I share education tools and training to help entrepreneurs and marketers build a really profitable online business, doing what they love. That's a huge thing. To do what you love, to be able to do what you love and kind of set your spirit free with it. So, and I think, one of the things that I love so much about Pinterest is that I get asked a lot by people, generally what I do and how I help, but then like always the questions come back to how can I drive traffic to my website and how can I get more subscribers? Like these are things that people just struggle with. And how, it's not easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but it's such an important component of building a business. You can't really build a business if you don't have that traffic and you can't build your list. And so this is where I always just say, use Pinterest. You have to start using Pinterest because it is the traffic channel. And when you have everything set up correctly and you're kind of strategic about it, you can absolutely build your list really quickly with Pinterest.
Yeah, so I've been following you for such a long time, and I've been implementing a lot of your strategies. And personally, my results have really gone up since I've started following your advice. Yeah, so my results on Pinterest are great, and my traffic overall is really great. So that's why I wanted to have you on today so I could share this with my followers. Yeah.
Let everybody know about it. Let the secret out of the bag. Best kept traffic secret.
So, one of the questions I have for you is, why would Pinterest be good for a service-based business? I know a lot of people think of Pinterest as a place for big brands that are selling products and fashion and home, furnishings.
Something like that, maybe recipes. Yeah, that there's like this old Pinterest and there's the today Pinterest. And I think some people are still thinking about Pinterest and when the days when it started, like, a number of years ago. And, all you saw were just kind of DIY and recipes and fashion. And it was just kind of like a really personal, there was a personal aspect to it. But it's really changed a lot. And now businesses are on there. Pinterest has changed its algorithms to make it more business friendly and so that businesses can leverage it. And I think the reason that, especially for service-based businesses, is because generally speaking, there's an expertise that you have, there's knowledge that you have to share. And on Pinterest, people are on there seeking, ideas. They're looking for ways to do things, ways to make things. Of course, they're also on there looking to buy, but they're in a mindset where they're really open to ideas and they're actually looking for, solutions to things, but also like ways to do things. They're on their kind of idea hunting and looking around. So it makes it really a powerful resource for service-based businesses who have their knowledge to share. So if you can like frame your content in terms of a tutorial or a how-to, it's really going to resonate with your audience over on Pinterest because that's what they're on there. It's kind of like, it's kind of like Google with beautiful pictures. And the thing that I love about, I'm going to get into that aspect a little bit more, but the thing that I love about that picture component is that there's also an opportunity, unlike when people find you on Google, right? It's just text and they might just come and, peace out after that and not really engage with your brand. But when you have that visual component, and we all know that branding, I don't know if we all know, but branding is a big deal when it comes to your business. You have the opportunity on Pinterest to not only attract people and really capture them with the content that you're sharing, but also with the visual aspect. It's so easy to build a brand and kind of become really known as a good resource in your niche. And that elevates you and just helps you to get, higher paying clients and just really kind of align yourself with the audience that you really want to capture.
Right. So how would you say, in terms of driving traffic, how would you say it compares to the ways that people usually think about driving traffic, which is sharing on their social media channels, and maybe they do SEO. How does the Pinterest traffic, in terms of volume, how does it differ? And what do you think are the differences between the channels?
Yeah, Pinterest traffic is, I mean, I don't really think there's a comparison, to be honest. I just don't. I was looking at my analytics last night, and the Pinterest traffic that I get, and this is common. This is not just me. It's not like I'm doing something that's, you know, so secret or anything. It's like strategies that once you apply them, it just starts working. But easily the Pinterest traffic is, I think I calculated 8 or 9 times the amount of 8 or 9 times the amount of all of the other channels combined. And I'm not talking about Facebook. I'm not talking about Google Plus or LinkedIn, or, you know, I'm talking about, I have an entire spreadsheet of places where I promote my blog posts when I share them. And, you know, it's all of these combined. It's all of the other traffic. Maybe there's like 30 places I'm sharing. And that's the power of Pinterest. And I think it's because, you know, first of all, there are a couple things, right? If you look at what's happening on Twitter, if you look at what's been happening on Facebook and what's starting to happen on Instagram, because Instagram is like growing like wildfire. But you know, it's good and bad because it's becoming so big, like Facebook. Facebook now has over 2 billion users, but the organic reach is just really squashed. Like it's really hard to share something and know that people are going to see it. It's only like 2%, maybe 5% if you're lucky, of your entire follower base is going to see it because of the algorithms that Facebook is establishing. Twitter is also becoming harder to drive traffic from. And a lot of it has to do with all of these data breaches that are happening, and they're just really tightening up what they're doing over there because they've had a lot of breaches. But all of that together is making it harder to drive traffic from those channels. But Pinterest is not being hit by those same type of, you know, by all of those things that are happening. And it has to do with the way that algorithm is set up. It's called the smart feed. And Pinterest is less of a social media channel. It's not really a social media channel. So we lump it into social media, and that's fine because we need to categorize it. But it really is two things combined in one. And on the one hand, it's a social bookmarking site. And on the other hand, it is a search engine, just like Google. And that's really the power of Pinterest, and how, you know, why it is what I call the traffic channel, because you have this combo. I call it the double traffic threat. And it's the combo of that social bookmarking, where you have a lot of other people who are sharing your content for you to their networks and followers, and they do it like wildfire because Pinterest encourages that. So yes, people on Facebook and Twitter can share your posts, but, you know, they may or may not, you know, right. And then it's like seen for a second and then it's gone. But on Pinterest, you know, these people are actively sharing your content. Then you combine that with the search engine component, which means that people can find you if you're, you know, using the right strategies. And it's just like, wow, these two combined. Then you combine it with the fact that Pinterest is really an evergreen channel, which means that your pins have a very long shelf life. They last for a really long time. I'm still getting traffic from pins that I shared 1.5 or 2 years ago. And my number one source of traffic. I mean, so it's like, you know, it's not small stuff here. You can literally autopilot a lot of the foundational components of building your business, driving traffic, and getting those subscribers with Pinterest.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Twitter and Google combined, that there's that when you put a pin up, that people will see it and they can share it, but it's also going to be there when people are searching for it later.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I get like when I get traffic from Facebook or Twitter, it trickles in. And I find that on Twitter, you kind of have to just keep pumping and pumping and pumping all the time, constantly chasing that traffic. But with Pinterest, you can take a day off once in a while.
Right.
Once you get it set up anyway.
Well, yeah, when you have it set up, you don't really have to follow the same social norms of the other channels. Really, you don't have to be engaging. And like, you know, I don't know, share it all to Facebook groups, but like that can be a job right there, just keeping track of your Facebook groups and share. And it's like, you know, you find that you're just doing all of this work to get a handful of your page views,
Right.
and it's just completely different when you focus on Pinterest. I always recommend that people start with Pinterest, get that traffic engine humming, because you're going to be able to automate your business at that point, and then you can layer on the other channels and spend as much time over there as you want, because you know that you have a solid foundation to build your business with Pinterest.
So speaking of business, I know there are some differences between having a personal account and a business account. So I want to get into that a little bit deeper. So let's talk about that on the next video.
Definitely. Yeah, because that's a big deal. It is a big deal. You have to be using Pinterest the right way. So yeah.
For sure. So we'll see you then.
Yeah. All right. Great. Okay.